Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host. Well, tonight, I just got finished with this movie. I just got finished with this movie tonight. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. So the movie I am taking a look at is a religious film. Yes, I'm covering my first religious film, Christian movie for the channel. Now, before I go ahead and talk about what the name of the movie is, I kind of want to talk about the subject about Christian movies. For those who don't know, I'm not a religious person at all. I do believe in the Bible, and I do believe there is a God and there's a Jesus. That's pretty much about that. But I'm not really a religious person. I don't really go to church that much. I used to, but not that much. So I just kind of wanted to get that through. In order for for me to like a religious movie, it has to do a lot of things different. And tonight's movie, that Christian movie, or religious movie, however you want to say, does it correctly. And the reason is, this was released by Samuel Goldwyn Films. For those who don't know, Samuel Goldwyn Films they actually released the movie The Chipmunk Adventures in the 80s. So we're taking a look at a movie that was distributed by Universal. It was also released by Giving Films. The movie stars Hayden Christensen and Kate Bosworth. This also has Dwight Yoakam, Michael B. Smith, and Fred Thompson. Released in 2015, 90 Minutes in Heaven. Now, this is an interesting movie because, as I said before, in order for a religious movie or a Christian movie, in order for it to work, it has to do things differently. Different than any other film. Well, this movie does a lot of things different. And the payoff does work. So yeah, 90 Minutes in Heaven is an interesting story. And even if it wasn't religious, I still would say this is really good. So the movie focuses on Hayden Christensen. He plays a man named Don Piper. So Don Piper he's a very religious man. He goes to church. This is set in January 89. The whole movie, I believe, is set in January 89, so the beginning of 1989. That's a big plus because I was born in 1989. So having a set in that time period actually does work. So his wife is Ava Piper, which is Kate Bosworth. His wife is a school teacher. So she's teaching and they realize there's a big wreck. There's a rainstorm. So right off the beginning of the film, Don is driving. So right then he's getting out of a store and he gets a ticket. So he gets a ticket for not putting his seatbelt on, which comes into play in the film. Well, he puts on his seatbelt and it's raining really hard and boom, car wreck. So he's in this big car crash. His friend who goes to church comes in and sings him a hymn, and turns out the man is alive. So they're saying, "Praise the Lord, hallelujah, he's alive! He's alive!" And the paramedics don't believe him. And then all of a sudden they check his pulse. He's like, "He's still breathing!" So they get him out. They destroy the car, get him out. Now he's trying to fight for his life in the hospital. It's very, very hard to watch. He's fighting for his life, and they go through him taking different steps. Then he realized he saw heaven in 90 minutes. Hence the title, 90 Minutes in Heaven. So he basically is in there and says, I was in heaven. So they do explain that. And it just focuses on his life. He's a family man. He has 2 sons, a daughter, and he's just a family guy. So basically now he's on the road to recovery, and it just shows the sacrifice he goes through, wondering that he really wants to go to heaven. Heaven is his new home, and he's just begging and begging and begging. And he's all beat up, he can't breathe. So the wife's there worried. She goes up to McDonald's and she panics. So who knows? She's worried that the love of her life is going to die any moment, and it's very, very, very heartbreaking. This movie, it can be hard at times. So, enter Dwight Yoakam, who plays, I can't think of his character's name. Does it say on the back? No, actually it doesn't. So, Bosworth hires a lawyer she sees on the billboard, Dwight Yoakam. Yeah, Doyle Hargraves from Sling Blade playing a lawyer. It's interesting because the only other movie Dwight Yoakam I saw was the masterpiece that was Sling Blade. I'll give it this. This is a different role for Dwight Yoakam. Outside playing Sling Blade, similar to how most people know Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker in the 2 prequel Star Wars movies. Well, I think just like I said when I reviewed Collateral, I think if you give him the right script, he can be really good. It's the thing I have with Tom Cruise. If you give him the right script, he can be good in anything. And he is really good, even though despite what, I shouldn't say, despite the look of him. And near the end of the movie, we do see the real Don Piper, and he looks nothing. Well, does look nothing like him. But again, you can't really tell when you look at it. You had to see old photos of him in order to see. So, yeah, Dwight Yoakam doesn't appear much in the film. He's like the lawyer, and that's it. I kind of wish we got like a court case. So she hires him to go for this liability case to basically get answers. And that's his character. He just leaves. So most of the time, he does get out, and now they have to sell their old house and get a new house. So he's like, most of the times the kids with their grandparents, they have to keep switching schools, go back and forth. Well, Bosworth's parents, which is the grandparents, yeah, pretty much that. If I had to say one complaint with this movie is that it gets a little too preachy at times. Like, again, I'm not a religious person. When it comes to religious movies, the closest I ever watched to a true religious film was The Passion of the Christ. That's the closest to a religious film I've ever seen was Passion. And that to me is a true example of a religious film. But we're going to stay with 90 Minutes in Heaven. But still, regardless, this is a very solid movie. The book was written in 2004. So, I forgot to mention, Fred Thompson plays another priest. So he gets a bunch of these pastors and priests, and it's just his road to recovery. He gets out of bed, he learns to walk, and just the recovery of a man who basically did it all to be back to life, pretty much. Though there is one cool thing in the movie, I've never seen this in any film. They did sort of an IMAX without using the IMAX. See, the scene where he talks about him going to heaven, we go from, this movie is in a 240:1 aspect ratio, which you'll see black bars on that. However, when you get to the heaven scene, which he talks about all the people he met while in heaven, all the relatives he knew, it gets rid of the bars, and now you can see the whole screen. I thought, wow. And I thought, man, that's what I pictured if I ever got to heaven. If I were to go to heaven, that's probably what I would imagine, seeing all my friends and family there if I got to heaven. But again, not to get too religious, I don't know. But that's what I would picture, and I give them credit. This movie is not a prefix film. This is a true religious film that's done right, even if it does get a little too preachy. And I thought the movie was going to be too religious and too preachy, but no, I was wrong the whole time. And then those scenes, after that, we go back to the 240:1 ratio. So that's all about this film. It's a very fascinating story. Like I said, the end of the film, we see the real Don Piper. He does meet a person that went into that situation. That was the same situation he was. You also see birthday party, which actually you see the NES to get a Nintendo. And I'll show you a picture right here. I don't know if you can see it in this, but they do. I'll probably show a photo in the video. But yep, you see him. You see him with a Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. I thought it was really cool being a Nintendo kid. I thought that was really cool. So regardless of that, this is a very good movie. This is not great. It is very, very, very well made. It's not a prefix film, as I said. It doesn't feel like it. Though the rating on the back's weird. It says, this movie is PG-13 and it can get intense at some scenes. It says intense accident and injury images. Kind of a weird description on rating the film. Just say mild violence and it would just, or violence. Having that is kind of dumb. It's similar to the back of the Mean Girls DVD that says teen drinking on the PG-13 rating. So that's also another complaint. But again, I'm not faulting the movie. This movie's really good. Now, I think I did mention everything in this, but if you haven't seen 90 Minutes in Heaven, please give this a watch. It's really, really, really good. A very well-made film. Again, I'm not religious, but I really did enjoy this movie. And I think as a film, if you like Christian movies, check it out. If you want to see Hayden Christensen take on a much stronger role, I think this is his best role outside of the prequel films, and you want to see him in a movie that he is outside of the prequel films, is really, really good. Kate Bosworth, I forgot how good she is in this. Definitely check this movie out, though. So, yeah, let's go ahead and rate the movie right now. This is tough. This is a tough one. I'm going to give Heaven is for Real. I was going to give this a 5 out of 5, but I'm going to tell you right now, I have to dock it a point and give it a 4 out of 5. The reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 is because it gets a little too preachy. Like I said, if this was not preachy, this would have been bumped up a point. But I'm going to tell you right now, this movie is really good. I might even have to put this on my 10 best list. I'm not 100% sure. Might make it on my best list. It might make it onto my honorable mentions list. I don't know yet. We're not even at the end of the year, so I cannot make that decision whatsoever. But if you haven't seen 90 Minutes in Heaven, definitely check this movie out. It is, like I said, not a ton of fun, but it's a very good movie. So, yeah, go check out 90 Minutes in Heaven. A really strong movie, a very powerful movie that you have to see to believe. It's sort of like a religious version of Patch Adams. Patch Adams was a story about another person that is interesting to learn about. This, I learned a lot more at the end credits, but still, it's a great movie and definitely check it out. So, that's my review of 90 Minutes in Heaven. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you can see what I have reviewed on the channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check me out there as well. And I rate movies before I go ahead and post them onto YouTube. I don't know if this is going to be uploaded tonight. Might be uploaded tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm going to try my best to get this out tonight or tomorrow. So, yeah, go check out 90 Minutes in Heaven. Definitely worth a watch. So, yeah. And that's it. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.